are recording. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your pal Big Cal. This is the What's Good Show. And today's show is a blessing to me because I have two of my sisters. I have so many, but two of my sisters that I'm going to throw them under the bus real quick. If you all have ever been mad at me for any reason for what I've said or done, these are the two of the people that you want
Wait
to
a
blame.
minute.
Because these are
We're
the
not taking
women.
that smoke.
The, yeah, these are the women who gave me the heart and and courage to be able to talk shit.
All
Because
right, pop it.
since
Miss Vera gonna come
since they
visit
were
you
young,
tonight.
since they were young, they were fighters. I couldn't come on the block if I couldn't hold my head up. So because
Miss
if
Vera's
they
gonna
didn't
come
lump me
visit
up,
you tonight for this
they would lump
blasphemy.
me up and take me to Vera, and then she would lump me up. So, but due to the fact this month is Women's Month, these
That's
are
right.
two of the most beautiful women that have been in my life since little kids. And
That's amazing. That's a
I want
blessing in and of itself.
Right?
as they say, give people their flowers while they can smell them. So I'm giving the beautiful Diane Cole and Jamila Arterberry their flowers because I'm afraid because they would kick my ass. But these
You
are two
better
of the most beautiful
quit.
women that have been in my life.
Jamila, he gave up our
Because-
whole government.
Right?
Why? I thought you took care of them warrants. But like I said, the thing is, you ladies have always been 1,000% real.
Thank
No,
you.
no fake attitudes, fake conversations, not even fake smiles. Y'all said what y'all meant what y'all said. Damn, if you don't like it, don't deal with it. But this is how it is.
That's how it is.
And is what enables me to be able to appreciate and respect women on that level. Because my sisters, that same respect is what I wanted for my sisters. So
All right. Okay.
That
Okay.
was a very nice introduction.
Right?
Oh man, we are all fortunate, right? We are all
Yes.
fortunate because so many people. It's a blessing to me to be able to say that's my next door neighbor, that's my across the street baby brother. Like I don't know too many people that can actually reconnect or are connected with their childhood day
A
one,
thousand
and
percent. A
that's what
thousand
we
percent.
are. So it's
Yeah.
like this is a blessing. This
For
is a
real. And that's what I'll be saying to my son, with his friends and close friends that he has now, he's known forever. And I used to always say to him, like, the people that you allow into your life that are your friends, make sure that they're like your friends, like
right,
they matter,
right.
because years later, it means something as you grow and, go through life experiences, not just somebody that you can't count on or rely on, or someone that could really be your friend, like you can look
Exactly.
back on 40 years later. What are we working on? 45,
No, Jamila,
50
look at your age. Look at your
years
age.
later.
Look at your age, and remember that I know you from you were in the womb,
Oh, that's right. So
from when
we
your
going
mama's
past
belly was
50.
touching the steering wheel.
That's
Okay,
right.
so
Diane knows the pamper butt and
yes,
everything.
that would be it. So no, and I take that, and you know why I say it's a blessing. It's because first of all, we're all still alive. And
Yeah.
we all have people from where we grew up that a lot of them didn't make it. Like some people,
Right.
listen, I'm so fortunate to be alive at 60 on my father's side because I'm the only one. My dad died at 55, his brother died
Wow.
at 57, my brother died at 57. So I'm 60. So that's a blessing in and of itself. And when I
Yep.
when I talk, like me, when you and I were talking yesterday, and I just was like, I remember your mom really sitting in the driving seat and her belly touched the steering wheel. You can ask your mother that because your grandmother was
Should have.
telling
You know,
her
I
to
spoke to her
get
earlier
out of the
today
seat.
too. I
So,
spoke to her earlier today too. I
listen,
should have brought that up.
how she doing?
Good. She's good. She was calling me about the phone and how to help her with the phone. And you know how they don't understand and they need to help. And I got this new phone and my contacts are not going over.
But at least she's trying to do it because you know
For
my
sure.
mom had a flip phone, so at least your mother, you know, she got the new joint, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, she do. She do. She do. Think. I know Kim was there earlier trying to help her. That might be where she is. I'm not sure.
That's good. So what else,
But yeah, call back
Cal?
to her. So what's up? What's the question? What you want?
Well,
What
no,
you need?
I mean, it's so cool. And like Jamela, I also Diane, because I'm a little bit younger than you.
You're
Just a couple months.
You're 7 months younger than me. No,
Yeah, see?
7. Your
7
birthday is
months.
May 13th.
I can't believe he even claimed that.
His birthday is May 13th, and my birthday was October. So I say it again. You're 7 months younger than me. But I'll hold it. I'm the oldest. I'll hold it.
Right.
And
Not even a full
Jamela,
year. He's talking about a little bit younger.
She didn't let me know. I always thought Diane was so much more older than me because she bossed me around so damn much.
I feel attacked.
Jamela,
No.
Yeah.
Here is a quote from 1970, say 78. Y'all know how Vera is. Y'all better leave Cal alone. Boy, go down the house before your mother come outside.
Your mom. We had a lot of strong mothers, especially on Southern
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah, but you know, and not only that, but that period, Diane, you know,
Yeah.
and we joke about it now, but that was what made us, right? And
Do you remember Miss Pinsey, Jamela?
no.
In the pink house? You don't remember Miss Pinsey? She lived on this. She lived 2 doors. Okay, it was Cal. It was it was Denise. It was not Ennis, but the ones next to you, the 2 sisters. I think
Yeah,
it was.
Well, you had.
And then you had Miss Pinsey in the pink house.
I remember that house. I
She
can't
always had,
remember
like,
her.
She always had like her hair like a bouffant, and she always had like gentleman callers coming in there like electric juice or water. Okay, I think I miss Pinsey now.
And that's all good.
I understand that era now because remember when we were kids and we didn't get it, like on Rome Drive, Miss Sarah, that was the only pilgrim lady that was left, and she had like 150 cats, and
Yep.
she was by herself. And then we had the Miss Pinceys, and you know, then we had Miss Vera, we had every family that we were on the block with. Every family had a house and they had their own structure, but we were lucky. We had a decent.
But the neighborhood and the block was a unit, you know, because even,
Yes.
I mean, we talk about our generation, but even my mother will talk about when she grew up, you know, and, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Brown across the street and this one and that one, and keeping her and my aunt in check, you know,
Right.
and it was the neighborhood love and support and discipline and structure that allowed us, right? Because at that time we might not have appreciated it, right? Or understood it. But as now we are in our 50s and 60s, and like, and there's so many, as you said, that are lost or didn't make it for whatever else reason. And the difference is that we had those strong women from all different backgrounds.
We did.
You know, I meant to, but since we're speaking about women today, and
Miss Johnson?
and that's what's needed today. Yes. And that's what's needed today. That's what's needed today with these girls, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what's needed today with these girls. And because of that, I'm a mentor. To continue on the conversation, is that I mentor young girls, and I went to it was a teen
Beautiful.
summit.
That's beautiful.
That's what I had mentioned last night. Is that so? We had a teen summit. That's where I was at. As a matter of fact, well,
That's
yesterday, no, the
beautiful.
day before, Saturday. So we had the teen summit, and when I tell you, I left there the whole time there. I was cheesable, and I left there. I was so excited for their future, for the
Okay.
kids that was there, because it was all the surrounding counties, and it was packed, right? And they had a podcast, and they had like session rooms, so the particular topics, and the kids were like in a circle discussing it amongst themselves, and then the mentors, I was a mentor, but different mentors in each group. And then upstairs where I was at the majority of the day, we had it was like a career and resource room. And so they had the police department, they had the YMCA, they had the Boys and Girls Club, they had the county, and the jobs they were hiring for. They had all different type of outreach groups. They had, you name it, they was there. They had self-help or people that go there out to the schools like I do and speak to the youth. It was just so many different people there, so many different colors there. And everyone was there to support the teens, right? And right next door to us, they had like a schedule. So like it's like every hour they had a party next door.
Okay.
And like, but they were, they were acting. What it was is that the kids was involved and they were excited,
Okay.
We had the police department was showing them like the gear and how heavy the gear is, or and practice gun safety. And then they had we had them put on the VR glasses and
Yes.
and act as if they were driving a car, and when you drink and drive, this is what happened. But my point being is that the kids was so they enjoyed it, not even realizing that it was a structured environment for them to learn and be inspired, right? And when they came over to my table, my group is called Girls to Women.
Okay.
And our other group is Boys to Men, right? And so, I was a girl who is now a woman, and we go out to the public school system, and the idea is so there's no breakdown and issues with transportation to get into us. We go to the schools, and it's during the school day, and the school periods, and we sit with them for an hour. We talk about whatever, and it's only girls, right? And it's all girl issues, whatever it might be. Whether it's a fight or the color you wanted to wear today or a recent hairstyle, anything.
Okay.
And then we do a lot of conflict resolution, mental health. And the girls that came to my table, I heard about it from other girls that might be in other schools and, that we're not at because it's like a different county over and we haven't gotten there yet because of school systems, but that's another story.
Okay.
And how much they appreciate us. I was telling them how much I appreciate them.
That's
and
beautiful.
They were asking, when can you guys come? The girls, teens in general, these kids, many of them want the help. They want the guidance. They want the structure,
Okay.
And so when we go back to what I was saying of the neighborhood that we grew up in, and, it wasn't those type of groups, but it wasn't needed because the community came together. Am I making, you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so now you have groups like mine that have to go out to the schools and mentor them.
That's great.
To help them along the way. But I love it. I love it. I appreciate it.
That's great.
Yeah. I love it. I appreciate it. And we do it during the day. And then we have other events outside. And like in the summertime, we do like whitewater rafting and, all types of stuff. And, they'll do food banks and yeah.
That's great. I got to look into that up here because I would be ideal.
Yeah, I love what I do. I love doing it.
Those badass, but I would be ideal to catch them right before they're
yes. Yeah. And so we deal with them from 12 to 17,
Okay.
maybe 18.
Yes.
And so it's middle school and high school or junior high and high school. And like in my group alone, it's so many girls that wanted to. We had to cap it off 20 because of the size of the room.
Okay.
And we wanted to make sure we had enough mentors there, but they want to be there and they want to be a part of
And
it.
that's the key thing. If they
Yeah.
want to be there, because if they don't, then you get the attitude and the aggression
Yeah.
and everything. But that's
And you'd be surprised.
Yes. Listen,
And you'd be surprised with that, with the attitude at the beginning of the school year. And you know,
at the beginning of the school year, and you know,
you'll have some girls that are sneaker, you know, haha,
you'll have some
and
girls that are
you'll have some that are
sneaker,
really
you know,
quiet.
haha, and
And then by the middle of the school year,
and then
you know,
by
they
the middle of
open
the
up,
school
they
year,
blossom,
you know, they open
you
up,
know, and they
blossom,
break down those barriers,
you know,
and then
and they break down those
they
barriers,
talk
and then
about real
they
issues.
talk about real
And
issues.
it's a wonderful thing, and we need to have more of it. You know, and be relate to them where they are, meet them where they are, because we can't just talk about it and how these kids is wild horses. You know, we have to be there. We have to be there and step in and mentor them the best we can.
That's great. That's awesome. I like that whole idea. That's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, our neighborhood was different because I don't know. Whereas we didn't have anyone mentoring us, we saw a lot. I mean,
Right.
we saw a lot, and now, in hindsight, when I'm looking back, I'm realizing every structured household that I saw, I'm getting it now. Like,
Yeah.
it took me forever to realize, you know what?
Right.
I might be Miss Pensy. So anyway. Yeah, so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So what else? Come on, Cal. What else? Interject something. What else you want us to say?
Well, I was trying to see if you guys could hear me. I was trying to adjust my microphone. Can you hear me better?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
not
we can
really.
hear you. We can hear you, but you're just not loud.
Just very low, like you didn't pay your
Yeah.
bill.
Okay. I'm still trying to turn the mic
Excuse
up.
me, guys.
But you said Pensy. Oh my God. But
You remember
one
Miss
thing I was
Pensy?
gonna say, one thing I wanted to say is with You remember Miss Pensy? Come on now, man. You gotta remember Miss Pensy, Miss Gaetano,
Gaetano.
Miss Jones, all of them, because everybody dealt with Miss Fanny, Miss Carrie, and Miss Vera. So I had to deal with all of that. Miss Laguerre. Oh my God.
Miss Jackson,
Yeah.
Miss
Moe.
Council, Miss Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, come on now.
I gotta go about it. You know what? The next time I'm up there, last time when my mother went up there with my son, he took her through the neighborhood and down the block, and I need to go myself. And she was pointing out like this, and that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that.
Wow.
And this is whose house was this, and this is that one's house, and you know, yeah.
You remember?
But I haven't been there in so long.
When it was a big deal when we finally walked down Dunkirk and walked all
Yes.
the way to Linden Boulevard to Mr. Eaton's candy store.
And she was explaining that to him, and she was explaining like the Dunkirk, you know, and all of that, and he was just driving through, and yeah.
I remember Deacon Jones had a little store. Cal, do you remember that? You don't remember?
Can he even hear?
Okay. Anyway,
I think
I remember Deacon
you
Jones
and
had a
I
little candy
think
store.
are communicating
I
well and
did.
good, and he's getting like back feed. You can?
Cal, you remember Deacon Jones? He had a store.
One moment, ladies.
Okay.
Technical
I think I
difficulties.
found something. How's this?
That's
He
better.
didn't pay his bill,
How's
but
this
yeah.
now?
Yeah, you're better. It's better on my
Can
end
you hear
anyway.
me better now?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. I think I found it.
Okay, that's good.
Well, as I was trying to join in earlier,
Sorry,
one
old
of the
lady.
beautiful things about growing up on Sullivan Road is each and every one of you ladies came from a background of a mother who was active and beautiful in their actions in the community. Be it right, be it wrong, the women on our block and in our neighborhood, all around, gave us something to be proud of and respect.
Right.
The unfortunate thing of society now is people, these men and women glorify ignorance.
Right.
You know, it's like, why is it, why having your pants falling off your ass, walking around half high and looking stupid, why is that considered cool? Remember,
Right.
remember, what was it? We had the dude who used to be around by was it I'm trying, off of Newburgh, going further down. He stayed drunk, and it was like whenever we saw him, we just knew he was about to pass out, fall out in the street drunk. And but to us that was an embarrassment. But the kids
Right.
nowadays, giggling is cool.
But it's
wait
that
a minute.
structure I was speaking about. It's that structure that I was just saying, you know, what was expected, what was allowed, period. You know, and that wasn't just within our household, it was the community in general, you know, and that's the breakdown that's been lost over the years. Hence why it is that the kids now that are the age that we were then and younger and older, how, you know, it's not there. You know, you're trying to figure out like what happened, where are they, you know, and it's that structure, it's that guidance, it's that community. And, you know, there's a list of things that you can say that might have led to it. You know, I was speaking to my homegirl the other day, and she was saying that she believes it started when they stopped allowing parents to discipline their kids in the home, right? And then remember they had a time period when like they used to tell the kids, us, or just kids in general, like, you know, call the police. Remember it was like you couldn't do it, and you call the police,
Right.
and then you couldn't discipline, and you couldn't do this, and you couldn't do that. And once that you know, child abuse. And now here's the thing, you know, I understand child abuse. Obviously, there was many that were abused, you know, but much of it was discipline, right? But when that breakdown happened, and parents weren't allowed to, parents and aunts and uncles and
Jamila,
grandma, whoever.
Jamila, I got to interrupt you for a second, though, Jamila. As you
What?
mentioned, child abuse.
What?
Diane,
Sorry, my
you're
yeah.
too young. You're too young. But Diane, Tina, Sonia, Robbie, Chris, Roy, Eric, they saw Vera whipping my ass. Now,
But I
mind you,
mean, you know,
but hold
you
up,
probably,
Jamila.
did you need an ass
Who did
whipping?
Vera
though?
work for? Jamila, who did Vera work for? BCW. How is it the woman beating your ass works for child abuse? So she knew where to hit me, how to hit me, and when to hit me. So
But
it
Cal
was like,
used to do, but Jamila, Cal used to do some things that he.
That's
knew
what I
he
was
gonna
saying.
get
Like
in
she wasn't
trouble
just
for.
popping you off
And
and
remember, Cal
and
was
knocking your block
Cal
off.
was a stockier kid, so Cal did used to. I'm not saying he did not get a little touched. We all did, but for the most part, Miss Vera was just trying to keep him on the straight
In
and
line.
narrow. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
listen, you know, Cal, you know,
And Cal
on that.
act like he forgets that when you left Sullivan and made that left on Dunkirk, when you took Dunkirk all the way down on the corner of Dunkirk and Newburgh, it was the drug addict house right there, that white,
Right.
right across from the Leggett. It was a drug house. So, and that was there before crack. See,
Right.
we grew up in the heroin era.
yeah.
Right.
We had a little dope
Yeah,
house
we
right
see him
there.
nodding out. We see him nodding out.
Right. But you know
But
what? To
still
that
no.
point though, Cal, your mother, you know, and you know that now being a parent and of a father of both girls and boys, on the flip side of it is that, you know, I know Diane and us both have sons.
Yes.
And especially particularly when you're a single mother raising a boy into a man, you know, sometimes you might need a two-piece.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because like, what else?
Or a broom.
Because if you didn't get one, then what's the right, Diane? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
If you don't get from one, then what's
I agree
the?
with you, because
You know what I'm saying? What's the
it's
what's the effect?
I feel like this. Sometimes he needed a little shake up because she was trying to keep him from getting a booking case number.
Right. And even though he did, you know what? It was the the shaking and the knocking up a little bit, and a little two-piece that you still kept in the back of your mind that allowed you to come back and come out of that, whereas some couldn't. You understand?
I agree with you, ladies. But like I said, I tell a funny story. I got into some smoke one time. The police came and the cop asked me, "You sure you want to leave with her?" They were
because they
like, we trying to protect your safety.
You embarrassed Miss Vera. Let me, and Jamila will co-sign this. The hardest thing for a woman, especially a melanated woman, to do is to mother a son, because we have, first of all, it's not like we want to mother a son without help.
The father,
from
right?
The father. But we don't want to over mother the son because it's twofold. It's like if you over mother him, then he doesn't know, he doesn't get that grind in him sometimes. You know what I mean? You don't want to be too hard on him. You don't want to be too soft on him. And then you got to juggle everything else. And then you have, listen, I remember Miss Vera. I love Miss Vera. And I co-sign on everything. Miss Vera did her best with the tools that she had. And she did her, listen, you remember our block. We had a great block. In comparison to the stories that we hear from other people, everybody on our block had a house, a driveway, at least one vehicle. Most of the people, it was either a full house or only Miss Laguerre
had good jobs, you know.
That's what we know. And so, listen, I don't take offense when people shame me, talk about, oh, you didn't find out what an elevator was until such and such. You're damn skippy. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, you can't parallel park good. You're damn skippy. I had a driveway. Okay.
Right.
You're right. You're right. I don't parallel park excellent because I didn't have to, switch sides of the street until I got to be a older person. You're right. I had a driveway. You're absolutely. So I don't even know how to back in and go forward.
Yeah. And and didn't even realize that then growing up back then, how much of a luxury it was. Listen, how good you had it. You understand?
In houses, and like a lot of people don't, and a lot of people.
I say you.
What happened?
Oh, he's frozen. Are you frozen, Cal?
I say for you ladies, the elements, or rather the examples that you all set, from your parents, your mothers, since it's about women today.
Yeah.
The examples that you all set for your sons, your community, I applaud you because, as you said, Diane, as melanated women, you already have technically two strikes in society,
right?
Melanated and a woman. So you all come out the womb fighting.
Hello.
And the thing is, you never let your sons know the struggles, or your daughters. Never let them know the struggles that you face. There was it's a poem that a gentleman stated one time, and it was like he was talking about how the mother, times were so hard, and she always had a smile on her face. When she was alone, she'd break down and cry, but she never let her children see her struggles. And I look at you ladies, and I look at the other women of our era, and I see that we never see it, so we never appreciated it. That's why when I first said I wanted to title this show about women needing to hear the statement "thank you."
Yeah,
because too oftentimes we men, unfortunately, always talk about what we want, what we need, what we got.
Right.
Nobody ever just turns around and says, "Thank you for all that you do."
And I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. You know what? Cal, we're going to speak about women and the women that we had that we looked up to in the community and stuff. And of course, we say Diane and I both mothers of sons, right? But we're daughters and grew up with mothers, and community, in that neighborhood, in that block. And again, not understanding, how could we? We were children, right? And you don't know what you don't know. So outside of that environment, we couldn't compare it to Baisley, right? Because we weren't in Baisley, right? We couldn't compare it to over here and over there because we were on Sullivan Road. And then once I left Sullivan Road, Rosedale, and this and that and that. But just on that street alone, right? And just in my household alone, there were 4 generations of women.
That's right.
Okay. So you had Granny, then it was Nana, then it was my mother.
Yep.
And then it was Kim and I, right?
Yep.
So it was Granny, Nana, my mother, my aunt, my sister. And if we're saying thank you to women, and if I would say thank you to the women in my life, if I go up just one generation, my mother, who was always hardworking, right? And provided for us the best way she could have. Could she have done better? I guess, I'm sure, my son, or if you ask him a question, or maybe years from now, he could say, and I've done everything, right? He could say there's some things that I may have been able to do better, but you know what you know when you don't know, right? And there's no book to any of this. However, just seeing the productivity and the behavior, and that would inspire you to do better, right? And then in front of her was Nana, right? And Nana went to college. When I sit down now and I speak to my son, and right now I was saying to you all that I was doing on my genealogy and all that other stuff. And the reason that I'd started that, because I spoke about that with my dad many years ago. And my son is always inquisitive. He's always wants to know about history and family stories and that sort of thing. And when you go down the line, and I said that I was always on my paternal side, and on the men's line, to be able to go all the way back to slavery and then before, right? And when I look down, prime example would be, if I'm just speaking about the women in my home, it would be me, yes, college educated, right? And then my mother, she wasn't, but she went ahead and did good and great things, right? Kept a stable home, and we was never hungry, and we were good, and we didn't have any violence, and I have no men running in our home, right? And she raised 2 strong, capable, independent daughters, right? And then from there, we had my grandmother. My grandmother graduated A&T, LPN, as a nurse, and I saw her every day getting up. And that's back in the day when nurses actually wore the nurse uniforms, with the hat, with the pin and stockings.
She was official.
And I remember, and watching her get dressed and that sort of thing, and going there. And they owned that home, right? And then Granny, right? And she was a nurse as well. But understand, my grandmother was born in 1922. Okay. And she graduated. I want you to get this, because what people don't understand is that women did not get the right to vote until much later. Meaning my grandmother, a Black woman, was able to navigate life, go to college, right? Own property. But during that time, women didn't even have equal rights as men and able to vote, raise children and all that sort of thing, and still kept pushing, right? My great grandmother, Granny, I think that was World War II, I believe. And remember, she was working I believe the story is that she was working at a toy factory, and as it was at that time, all the men were off to war. And so they had reached back and said that, they need nurses, they need this and that. And that's where they allowed her to go in. And then she was able to become a nurse, right? But she owned, before Sullivan Road, my great grandmother owned 2 other houses.
Beautiful.
Before she got to Sullivan Road. But what I didn't know, and so I did my research, is that at that time, women weren't allowed to own a home. So she had someone else, huh?
I said, especially a woman of color.
Especially a woman of color. Especially a single woman of color. So all of us living in that house, we were all women and everybody was doing their thing, and it wasn't. See, now I'm going to get real deep. What I want to say is that I want to say thank you to my mother, grandmother, granny, all the women around me. We need strong women for our girls that will be women one day. Set an example, even if it's as simple as the way you talk and you walk. You know, they watch, they listen. You know, even when you think that they do not. I know when I'm in these groups, and I know they don't think that I see them watching me when I'm watching them, but they are, you know? And, you know, whether it's the way you sit up straight, you know, maybe, you know, the way you do your hair or the way you speak or the way that you articulate your words and that sort of thing. And we need more of that, right? Now, twerking is cute. It's okay. But it's more to that, right?
It's cool, but to me, it's gotten to be corny because
corny.
It lowers the level of
vibration is low.
Yeah, because I see a beautiful woman. Granted, she's beautiful face, body, and all of that, but she might have a doctorate in psychology or whatever. But you know, all the women around her is twerking. That lowers the mindset to be able to respect this woman who's worked hard. And
like I asked the girl this weekend, when it's a time and place for all of that, just like it's a time and place for the bonnets, right? And it's that understanding. God. If we go back to, again, in our childhood, it was a time and place for everything. You understand? When you walk in the room, you know, what is the saying? First impression, when you walk in the room, that's your first impression.
Yes.
Right? So without even saying anything, you are your brand, you are your calling card, right? And people can and will, even if they say they do not, pick you apart or analyze you or whoever you are just by that one meeting without you even opening your mouth, right? And so you could be as smart or well-spoken and educated, but if you've walked in a room with pajamas and flip-flop and a bonnet, someone may not get to believe that or get the opportunity to know that about you, right? And have already discounted you, right? When you go to a job interview and you're not dressed appropriately, right? You may not get that. A lot of times you don't get that second opportunity because when you've walked through the door, you've already told these people they believe they know who you are. First impression, you know. When I was at the Teen Summit and they had what we call a pivot game, and it was a crossword puzzle. And so they came to all the tables and they had asked us what we did and what have you. And you know, I explained to them the Girls to Women program or what school you in or asked what they're doing, are you enjoying today? And they all had to go to every table. I'm so glad they had did this game and asked the people at the representatives at the table to stamp this crossword thing, this crossword box thing, and each one of them had a topic, right? And we would choose which one would stamp. And so the first one was, I would choose like, what is your plan for the future? And the girls had to tell me what their plan was. And some would say, and they were stuck, and you know, well, I plan on being a nurse after school, and I'm going to do this and this and that and this. Great. That's wonderful. Stamp. What have you done to take care of yourself lately? So what I'm saying is that if we're speaking about kids, the future and now, and how it is we as women and the kids can then relate to us and we can show them, it's better to show it than just say it. An example of something that's positive and something they can aspire to be, and not just the twerking, right? And how you dress and how you talk and how you walk and all that other stuff. You know, when I walk in the room with these girls and, you know, regardless of what their attitudes may be, I know 90% of it is a defense mechanism, but it's always, good morning, how y'all doing? You know, and I sit down and, you know, and I can see them giggling and, you know, I'm giggling with them too. And then they start laughing and then we just start on our conversation for the day. But a lot more of that needs to be done. And I don't know how or when we're going to be able to, more of us, break this barrier to help the generation behind us and the one behind that one, because they're the future. They're the future.
The
They're
future
definitely.
is bleak.
I agree. I want to interject this real quick, as being mindful of our time. I want to take a moment to thank Sister Cole for breaking the stereotype.
That's right,
Because
girl.
a young single mother
Hello.
was like, "Oh my God! Oh, the world's coming to an end."
Especially
Planes
back then,
crashing, cars
Diane.
flipping over.
Listen,
This woman navigated
let
in
me
our
tell
era
you.
to raise a fine young man, and
My-
with all
Listen.
stereotypes and criticism and everything else,
Yep.
she brushed it off her shoulder like a dust cloud. And
Yeah,
kept
because right
moving.
now it's accepted. Back then, absolutely not.
And let me tell you
And I
guys.
want to thank her for becoming the queen that she was destined to be.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Absolutely.
And now let me tell you something.
Brr, 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 brr.
I'm a teen mother. I don't say that like I don't mean it like I love my son. I love my son. I should have waited. And some people say, no, you shouldn't. It was God's will. Bull crap. I broke my parents' heart, both of their hearts. But my son never suffered because I didn't suffer. And I didn't suffer because my mother, who was the strongest in the household, my father just did what she said, allowed me to stay in the home with
Yeah.
with the line, my husband and I will take care of you and your son. If you have another one, you will have to leave.
Right.
But my mom has been gone for 22 months, and don't get me wrong, I don't have a story in the park about my mother and I, right? But I'm my mother's daughter for the fact that I'm a dutiful daughter, and my mother made me strong because everything they thought I wasn't going to be able to accomplish, I had it inside of me to do it just to prove them wrong, if that makes sense to you. But
Yeah.
I don't want to stay too focused on her. I don't mean it like that. I love my mom. I miss her dearly, but I'm okay. My grandmother, my father's mother, I only had my father's mother for 15 years. My grandmother was born October 9th, 1897, and she
Wow.
left June 29th, 1981. I was 15. But listen to this. She's of Cuban Jamaican lineage, right? She migrated over to the States. My grandfather came also. He's from Mandeville, Jamaica. And my grandmother was a nurse by trade. Now, by the time my brother and I, because she did it right, she had my uncle and my father in her 40s. So by the time my brother and I were born, she was already in her 60s. But listen,
Wow. Yeah.
the year before my brother was born December 6, 1961. My grandfather committed suicide in 1960. But listen,
Wow.
he's schizophrenic. But look at this. My grandmother is the one that had the institution. Now, remember this now. This is the late 1950s, New York City. A black man, black man. Not my grandmother was your complexion. My grandfather was more darker than me. She had to first she had to get him diagnosed, and then she had to have him
mental health
institutionalized because he was that same neighborhood. He was riding the bike naked, digging up the backyard, burying the garbage in it. So when we still don't know whether or not he committed suicide, because they found him in the East River. So we don't know, as a black man, 1960, did he jump or was he pushed? But anyway,
right.
When they found my grandfather's body, my grandmother had his services the day before her birthday in 1960.
Wow.
So I come from a lineage of like strong women. So
Strong women.
I have to thank the good thing. I'm fortunate. You know how they always say, like I was talking about giving their flowers. I thank my mother for everything. Like for helping me, because you and I know, Jamila, you remember when you saw teen mothers, like a lot of them had to leave their houses.
That's what I'm saying. Like now,
I
it's
would not be
accepted.
here.
Back then,
It
absolutely
wasn't.
not.
And I have to always say, like, my son had an easy life. And when I say it like that, I don't mean that he didn't have his struggles, but he didn't suffer because I didn't suffer. And I didn't suffer because of Pat Cole and Ed Cole.
Right.
But I wouldn't be here. And I never take it for like, oh, I did this, I worked here and it. The only reason I was able to go to finish school, go into college and do everything that I did is because my mother used to work at midnight. Remember Ma Bell? Remember New York Telephone?
You're right.
My mother worked there for 32 years. And before I even started my last job, when I used to work at the VA, my mother would be on the midnight. I would take my son on the bus and train, get off at Queens Plaza, go on the other side, wait for my mother to come from Washington Heights. She was on that, get off that train, give her my son, go back on the other side and take the E to 23rd Street. The only reason I was able to do that and work also and give my mother money, my mother came from a full 8-hour shift and would wait there until I got my son and everything. And listen, women,
right, a strong line. Yeah, like I was saying about my strong
and
line of women.
Some men see it as some of us used trying to like be a man, and it's not the case. It's sometimes it's like, okay, this has to be done, and you do it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, to others, it appears that you're being aggressive, you're doing this, and that, but that's not even the case. You think every woman wants to be the one that
I was gonna say, because honestly, we don't want to do it all. We want to be soft and pink. We don't want to take on the male role. We don't want to have to be mother and father to these children. We don't want to, but if we have to, we will. And because you do, and you do all of those things, right? Then, oh, you're too strong, black women, and oh, you're too strong and you're not having it. Listen, you cannot get through all of that weak and weary. You understand? You have to be, and that's what I would like men to be able to appreciate, particularly black men, when they look at us, is to understand that if we didn't have to do it, we wouldn't, which means that you should have been doing it. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted.
I'm going to interject.
And we're tired, right? Right. We're tired.
I'm exhausted.
The thing is, let me just interject this though. You have these grown ass boys,
right?
Grown men. These grown ass boys, because a real man understands and appreciates your sacrifice and your valor to help him out and hold him down. The children are the young boys. They're afraid of. They look at it as a competition. It's not a competition. As in a relationship, that situation of yin and yang, you all are working together. It's not about who's tougher, who's stronger, who's weaker, who's smarter. It's not a competition. It's about building something together.
It should be a partnership in building something together.
I agree with you.
It should be, and it should not be. But when we don't like Diane was saying, is that if you don't have, a woman doesn't have a child, and particularly if it's a boy's father. Not to say that girls don't need their fathers. Let's be clear, because they do, 1,000%. In male in a household, and now you have to not only, the basic, right? Shelter, feed. Then you have to love. You have to speak life into that child, right? Yes. You have to protect that child, right? You have to discipline that child. You have to educate that child. That's right. You have to make sure that child is a productive citizen, right? And then the part that others don't have to worry about is that we have to pray behind our child because we have a black son, right?
You are so right.
So
every my son works.
hope and pray. Hope and pray.
You have to. And especially my son is a gentle giant, and he's in Orlando, Florida. He left New York in 2001. He gets off of work between 3 and 3:30 in the morning and like 6:30 in the morning. Okay. I cannot get a deep sleep. Well, now I'm getting used to it because now he's living with his girlfriend. That's another story. But when he was on, I used to wait for him to text me because from 3:30 in the morning, Florida, sorry, whoever's in Florida, a 6'4" black man driving, his AC is busted, so he's got his windows open. I always had my heart like everywhere because like you hear the stories every day, and you know what? Every day it could be us. We're not special, you know what I mean? And we say it because, like Jamila said, you have to educate your child, and you also have to. You know how difficult it is for a mother to tell a male child, listen, when you're in the street, pick and choose, because if you see a damsel in distress, I want you to be careful, because sometimes if you interject, the only person that may be out of here is my child. So I tell my child, I don't care what anyone says. Oh, he didn't do that. He's big for nothing. You're damn right. Walk away. Right. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those. Oh, this man didn't do anything. Listen, what you gonna do for me? Telling me that my child stepped in for a beef that wasn't even his and lost his life. Like
happens all the time.
All of that. Like, see
and let's not forget the police brutality and the criminal justice system.
Exactly.
On top of all of that. Exactly. And on top of that, after we're doing all of that, somehow we're supposed to make sure that we don't do it too much, right?
Exactly.
We don't make them weak.
That's right.
We don't make them too soft. We don't make them too accommodating. Mm-hmm. We don't. So it is a slippery.
The mate.
Yeah.
Has a problem with us because she feels like she's competing for.
It's a slippery slope.
Bosom.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope the whole way through. And, and my son is 32, okay?
God bless.
Very grown man, right? He's way grown. And when he goes out, I am like you, Diane, like, oh. So sometimes I gotta, I want to, how bad I want to text.
I know.
And check and call. Even some of the other day, it was raining really hard. Now here I am, and he didn't even answer me back, and I know why he didn't, right? But I had to get it out. Like, be careful. They say it's it's raining really hard. But the job is never over.
It never stops.
The job is never over.
I'm learning now to take a step back.
Yeah, me too.
Vic is 43. Okay, and his girlfriend is 43, and I'm learning now to not get upset that I didn't get a text saying Mom made it home.
Right.
So I have become this. I look for his footprints on IG, or I look for his footprints on Facebook to make sure. Okay, because I don't want to be that person. Or when was the last time you spoke to your son? Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. So.
You don't want that phone call. You don't want that phone call.
You never want that phone call.
You never want it, but it is such for women, and it's not a loneliness thing because I'm far from that, but it is when you nurture something and you're so used to nurturing something, sometimes, not that you don't know how to let go, but you just, I stand back and I just want to be like, yo, are you good? You sure you good? And I'm learning how to do it, but it's extremely difficult.
Yeah. Right? I know what you're talking about, 1,000%.
And then you put into the mix your own social life, and you're good. I'm good, but it's like I'm exhausted. Especially, and you know what? Now that we're talking, only spin the block with the same person. A minimum, the maximum is twice, because anything after twice, Cal, I am mentally exhausted, and you know what I'm talking about. I am mentally exhausted from Kenny. I am mentally, emotionally exhausted. Only twice. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. Women, listen, mental health in our community is shunned. You know, people don't really want to accept it. We need it. It is so valuable to us because our shoulders are so strong
No.
and yet so exhausted. Like,
Heavy. It's heavy. It's a heavy load. You know what Erica say? Bag lady.
listen,
Bag lady.
you go through grief, you go through happiness, you go through your sisterhood, and it's like, listen, man.
You weigh it. It's a lot of bags. You're tossing. It's a lot of balls in the air all the time. All the time. All the time.
And you're juggling and everything. And it's like, listen, man. Listen.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you know, it's a thankless job, if we're gonna say that way, right?
So.
Because you know, it's not even a question. Like, you're gonna do what you gotta do it, right?
And then menopause hits you. Boom.
Right. And here's the thing. And if it doesn't go right, right, your kid gets in trouble or anything else like that, whose fault is it? Is the mother's fault. Never dad's fault. It's your fault.
Yours. Yep. And then you gotta crack open your little rainy day account because you're like,
yeah,
I gotta get Perry Mason. You know?
Well, and we gotta begin to wind this one up. I mean, I gotta think it doesn't even seem like an hour has passed already.
Bloop.
Yes, I know.
Give mommy a kiss. Give mommy a kiss.
Yeah, right. Give mommy a kiss right in the mail.
See Auntie Jamela? See Auntie Jamela, Uncle Cal? You fat torta?
What happened?
I have to call her a fat torta, but let me tell you something.
Too cute.
This, you see, listen, Jamela, I salute you with all the babies you have. I'm a cat mom. These doggies are freaking babies.
Kids. And it's the whole time. It's not even like when they're just puppies. It's like the whole time.
This heifer is 12. She will be,
wow.
I mean, no, she's 11. She's 11. She'll be 12 July 26. Like,
yeah, you got a couple of more years, child.
I heard that these little ones live a long time.
Yeah, I tell you, Ladybug is 15.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
15, and she's still, and she's at the end of my bed right now, and she don't look like she giving up no time soon.
Not at all.
I just went to the vet the other day, and just as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I mean, literally, eyes is clear, teeth is white.
Yeah, she gonna be there.
Sniffing all over the place, and we were laughing. Yeah, I was laughing with my dog because she didn't seem well, which is why I made the vet appointment. And I'm like, no, you wait until we get to the vet's office. So all of a sudden, you good. You good. You playing with everybody. And I was like, Ladybug, you know, she gonna do what she gonna make up her mind when she gone. You know, so you're like 15 what?
Oh,
what?
That's beautiful. Cal, we winded it down. We did good.
We did do good.
Amazing
this
conversation.
Was so therapeutic.
You know, it's a good conversation. It didn't even seem like you're dragging time. You look up and it's like, damn, it's almost over already.
It did.
Yeah.
This was therapeutic. Yeah. This was my video.
But just like you said, Diane, mental health and self-care and self-love protect your energy, protect your peace. You know, I got it on a t-shirt. Okay.
Look, setting your boundaries and sticking with your boundaries. And
1,000%.
And sometimes you don't want to hurt someone, but if you hurt yourself, allow yourself to be hurt, you're not helping anybody. Just like when you're on a plane, they tell you in case of the loss of oxygen,
you gotta save yourself first.
Put your mask off. And that's the chapter that I'm in now. If it does, and I love my son. I love my son. I'm happy where I'm at in my space with my friends. But it's like this. I have to come first. My needs have to come first.
Always.
I don't want to be miserable just to be whatever. But anyway.
Yeah, you're right. And that's something that we women forget to do, right? Because we're so busy taking care of everyone else.
Yes.
Is to remember you have got to take care of yourself.
Oh my God.
However, whenever, you have to take care of yourself, because if you do not, all of this falls apart, right?
And
you've got to take care of yourself.
Feel like a job. If it feels like a job, then you gotta give yourself
Yeah.
some break.
Protect
Like a
yourself,
break or
take
whatever.
care of
You have to
yourself,
step back.
love
Yes.
yourself,
Yes.
honor yourself.
A very true statement is don't set yourself on fire trying to keep other people warm.
Yes.
At all.
Yes, I agree. So see, we
At
can
all.
So Cal, you edit it and you'll put it out tomorrow, right?
Yes. Well, it's not
Are
much
you
to
gonna
edit.
edit it or you just gonna throw it out there? You still recording this past
What
time.
is there really to edit? We talk. We haven't been
You
vulgar.
did good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We spoke about real topics, and really a salute to you ladies for your
Thank
hard
you.
work,
Thank
and
you.
sacrifice, and to be the queens that you all were destined to be.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
That's no total perspective.
Thank
Salute.
you.
Well, if I can say anything else to any women watching, and if you're gonna put it in the video, would be to love thyself, honor thyself, care for yourself, right? Always.
Yes, definitely.
And to some, when you're hearing it, it seems easy to do, but it is not,
No.
right? But you have to do it. And as you get into a routine of doing it, it becomes easier and you're happier and the people around you are happier, right? And like they said, we're here for a good time, not a long time, right? And so
That's it.
make
I
it
like
count.
that. And you know what I can say too? Just because you say no to a person or to a situation doesn't mean that you don't love them. But sometimes you can love them from afar or love them the way you want to love them. Like you don't have to be. I'm not a clingy person, so you don't have to be like
Yeah.
that. So pretty much that's it.
I heard someone else
Bottom
was
line,
saying
you
no is a
love
verb.
people, but you can't love them more than you love yourself.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I love, you know what I love at 60? My peace, my
Hello.
space, and doing things on my time and
Yeah.
not to, just and I used to wear my heart on my sleeve when I was younger. I'm blaming everything on menopause, but like right now, like I like doing just what I'm doing. Like,
But I think
I
we're in the
like
stage
this
of our life
phase
that
of
is
my
like
life.
that, Diane. Yeah. I think this stage right now, that's what it is.
Yeah, I love this.
And I
love
hear it
this.
all the time that women,
Right.
once you're in your 50s and your 40s and your
Yes.
50s and your 60s, and I'm like, yeah, right. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's the
You
truth.
are really,
I like a little social time.
yeah. I like
But
to
then,
pop
you know
out
what?
and pop back in.
That's
I'll
it.
pop it
I
out
don't-
and I
that's
pop back
it.
in.
That's it. I don't
That's
have to be on the phone with you every other minute. I don't need to do that. I can deal with you. I can see Miss Pence was the way she was. I'll see you on Wednesday. I'll see you Monday, and I'll see you Saturday. Like, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we did good, brother. It was great. Jamela was great as always. We got to do this once, but this was cool.
Yeah, we need to, and I told you we got plans for when I come. We all gonna meet and go out to dinner or do whatever.
Yes, definite. And as you ladies say, because I was looking around, possibly like a play, concert, something.
Yeah, whatever.
A nice dinner,
Great.
I'm gonna tell you
like
what.
A
When
nice
I'm able to
jazz
get up there,
line, where we can just cool out, have some food, and talk some shit, and call
whatever
it
it is, I'm thinking like May-ish.
Bad.
May-ish, June-ish, and and that's that. And I'll come up to y'all, and
Great.
like I said, since y'all are like in that triangle,
Yes.
we can even meet up that way. It doesn't even have to be in the city, but I could care less, whatever it is.
Anywhere. Like,
And we do
I'm
it.
like right on the border. I'm like, so anywhere. That's
Yeah.
great.
Because
Well,
for
I'm
you,
in the middle.
Cal, coming down is not that much from where you coming from to get to where Diane is.
I'm an hour away from Diane because
See,
I'm
that's
an hour
what
away
I'm
from New York.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm maybe an hour, 2 hours away from you in Virginia.
Okay.
So I'm in the
And
middle.
when I go to my girlfriend's house in Middletown, that's right by Diane, and that's not
Absolutely.
too far from you either. So that's what I mean. That whole area,
Okay, cool.
We get together
Yeah.
and chop it up, Sullivan Road style.
Yeah. April, no, April, May, June-ish,
May, June
for
is
sure,
great.
guaranteed.
That's perfect.
Exactly when. I gotta look at my calendar and see, what I'm doing with the girls and this, that, and the third. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
We put it together and do something clever.
Great.
So, all right, my
For
ladies,
real.
I love you all. I love you all.
Love you guys too, and I enjoyed it per usual.
Yes. Yes.
And we will chop it up again because you know we always got something to talk about.
Hello, because what's good?
And that's what's good. All right, so I love you. Stay blessed.
Love you. You too.
Bye, y'all.
Guys.